Hey, Johnny Drive-By here, and I just decided to do a live stream tonight. Talk to Unholy Mole and Godless Journey, and they said I'll join you. So what's up, guys?
Hey,
Not a lot. What's up to you, brothers?
Not much. Not much building. Oh man, it's just so humid and one of the hottest days of the week here too. And I've been building that deck.
Yeah.
And, oh man, it was a struggle to get cleaned up because we're supposed to get rain tonight again. But
Has it been real humid up there?
real hot and humid, and
Yeah,
the gnats are
same here. Down in Illinois.
no seums and mosquitoes. Our state bird, the mosquito.
Yeah. What are them little black biting bugs? They're like flies. What are them called? Not mosquitoes, obviously, but they're like a little fly.
Seums, I believe, is what you're looking for there.
I don't know what the hell they are, but they're fucking horrible this year, dude.
Yeah, they're all over here.
They're fucking horrible this year.
I gotta bring the chat up. I don't even have that up. Jeez, I'm out of it, man. I haven't done a stream for like 2 weeks already.
Well, on the plus side, no one said anything yet.
Yeah, I haven't done one in a while either. I had to deal with some in real life stuff. You know how that life thing gets in the way.
I know, and it's amazing. And there it is.
I can't believe Cat Brony beat me. I'm never gonna be able to live that down.
What did he do?
Oh, in the roast.
Oh,
I kind of reined myself in because I tend to get a little dickish at times, and I don't know if I'm being funny or if I'm just being an asshole. So, I'm
supposed to be an asshole.
Well, I know, but I didn't know how much of an asshole. I did tell him he rode the short bus and shit like that, but I guess it just wasn't assy enough.
I like how you both started off with an apology.
We did too, didn't we?
that would be Cap for you, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. He's so much younger than I am that I didn't want to I don't know. I didn't want him to think I thought any less of him. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. But I can be. I do better live because live I can feed off of what they're saying, and it gets the creative juices flowing. Kind of like when you jam. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever sat down and tried to write a song by yourself and you get nothing? But then when you sit down with another musician, someone to bounce ideas off of, something seems to always come of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Are we all musicians here?
Oh, well, you're a musician too?
I'm a former worship pastor, so yeah.
There you go. Yeah, my grandma had a piano, and her mother taught piano or whatever, and played up at the Unitarian church or whatever that I grew up around in my area here. So I had music in my life my whole time. So
yeah, I've been a guitar player on and off since I was 12. A lot more off than on because my teenage years I spent in drugging and boozing more than I did anything. But yeah, I'm an adequate guitar player, pretty decent bass player. I mean, if it's got strings on it, I can usually make a song or at least make it look like I know what I'm doing.
Playing the same key at least.
Right. I mean, I understand music theory well enough that I could play along even if I don't know the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like after a while if you can find the key that it's in, you're pretty much all right.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Well, it is.
Well, I guess
it is hard.
It isn't that hard, I guess.
I wasn't naturally gifted. I had to really work hard to get where I got.
Oh, I have a pretty good ear for music. It comes fairly easy to me, but I'm lazy. Let's face it. So I don't practice as much as I should.
Practice is a huge thing for it. I mean, I can play something, but if I don't have it rehearsed and down, I don't even want to play it in front of people. Let's put it that way.
Right. Like my muscle memory's still there, but I'm really rusty on my pick hand.
Mm.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I've recently picked up drums, and that's fun. I like hitting stuff.
I've always liked playing the drums, but if you want me to do anything besides a basic beat, then forget it. Like if I try to add a fill in, it's over.
See, I thought I was fine with drums until I had to play with a click. That was
oh,
the
geez.
worst.
Yeah, your metronome is so important on the drums. Because you got to be either a little bit off, especially if and then don't even start with polyrhythms.
It was hard for me going from a guitar player to a bass player, and then learning how to, because like when you're a guitar player, you listen to the other guitars in the band and you play by what they're playing. And it took a little getting used to going from playing along with the because when I first started playing bass, I played bass like it was a guitar, and then I got the hang of playing with the drums instead of playing with the guitars.
I didn't have to do that, but what I understand is people that sit there and learn from playing on the backing tracks and stuff online, it really screws them up when they play live with people, because that's sort of like your crutch. The covers your mistakes up when you're playing along with the backing track, and I can see that. Or I mean,
that and like they're used to a steady. They're used to a steady metronome all the way through. Well, when you're playing live, it can speed up and slow down.
Yeah, if you're not used to
increments that a normal person wouldn't hear it, but you can hear it while you're playing along.
Yeah, if you're not used to recovering or whatever when it comes to somebody else slowing down or speeding up, then you're not. If you're not used to that, then it throws you off.
Yeah, it does.
How's it going, Compelled Unbeliever?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Oi. How are y'all? Oh, saying hi to Staggerson. Oi. And we're just chatting about some music at the moment. So what kind of music are you guys into?
I am still currently trying to figure that out.
Are you too fresh out of the church to have expanded your music horizons yet?
Yeah, just about a year now.
Oh man. Well, what kind of music do you like? I mean, as a rule.
I mean, I've got some favorites. Foo Fighters, Linkin Park.
Can't go wrong with them.
I'm also gonna go ahead and admit it. I love a musical.
I like musicals too. There ain't no shame in it, man.
All right, cool.
Ain't no shame in that shit. Some of that stuff beautifully orchestrated, man.
Yeah, I went to see Les Mis once, the live show, and that was the first time that non-religious music had made me feel feelings.
Oh, that's cool. And you want to hear something odd? As a natural born atheist, like not someone that's been religious and turned atheist, I enjoy hymns. I like old school gospel hymns, like country gospel, bluegrass gospel, that kind of stuff. Great fucking music. It's just subject matter is a little goofy.
Yeah, but to get into Gothic type of hymns and stuff like that, those are some pretty complicated stuff in there. They got
like especially like shit for the Middle Ages. Them guys were maestros, dude.
Oh yeah.
The stuff they could do with just a cappella voices was amazing.
What is that? What is the chord that's supposed to be the devil's chord or whatever? I can't remember that.
I'm not sure, but there's supposed to be like a devil's hymn almost like.
It's just one chord or whatever.
There's one note that's supposed to be the devil's note. I know what you're talking about, but
I think it was the Catholic Church that banned that use of that chord just because it had that, like death and evil kind of.
It had to have been a minor chord.
I want to say
that sad sounding stuff.
Yeah, I want to say a diminished, or not a diminished.
It's a tritone chord.
Yeah,
with the seventh dominant.
Right. I remember that. I'm gonna look that up. The devil's chord. I think you're right though. I think it was a trichord.
Classical guitar, don't play, Compelled Unbeliever says. I've been kind of working on my flamenco style in the past like 4 years now.
Yeah, you played some the other day. It's a brief history of the devil's tritone.
Ah, there it is. Cool.
I don't know how. Let's see how. I don't know how reliable Wiki is, but
Wiki.
It's better than watching a YouTube video. In music theory, the tritone is defined as a musical interval composed of three adjacent whole tones. For instance, the interval from F to up to B above it In short, FB is a tritone as it can be decomposed into the three adjacent whole tones of F, G, GA, and AB. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Music
And then it has
for the day.
and then it has some Latin words and other things. No, not Latin. It's Italian, isn't it? When it comes to music, like allegro and all that. That's Italian, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. Little. Obligato.
Oh man, 4 atheists are live. We got non sequitur.
I see that. Freaky's doing something.
Freaky. I don't know who Dragnot is.
Yeah, I don't know who Dragnot is either. And also, he didn't mention. Oh wait, no. Goddess Engineers is on Don's stream. But yeah, yep.
Pig. If you want us to talk about something interesting and stay here, what do you want to hear?
Yes, we'll be your slaves.
Right now, we're talking about music, man. So I mean, can't ever go wrong with music.
Well, I know a couple people that could probably prove you wrong there.
Scottle's Island. What's happening? What's that noise coming from?
What voice?
I'm hearing like weird, like fucking video game music on my headset. What's going on here?
I have no idea.
I got nothing,
bizarre.
Man. What did you take before you started the stream?
I haven't checked nothing yet.
You're not supposed to eat the mushrooms that grow underneath cow patties, man.
No, it was someone calling me on Discord. I'd never heard nothing like that before. It was like an actual ringtone.
Oh, look at Discord, yeah. I haven't figured Discord out a whole lot yet, but
I meant GI, Piggle. Did I say GE? I meant GI.
Yeah.
Too many goddesses around here.
Sorry.
That's okay, dude. I mean, we're all godless technically.
It's a shortened moniker. It used to be My Atheistic Journey, which was just too much to write out. So
yeah, I've always been the mole, and I just added unholy to it because if you tried to type mole into fucking YouTube, you would find thousands of fucking things, and none of them were me. So, I just figured I'd add the unholy onto it, and voila, fix the problem. Then I got my my own URL, so now no problem at all.
Ta-da!
Look at that.
GI's on Freaky stream too.
Yep. GI Snarky and they, and then on Non Sequitur's show is about, I want to say it was about fucking something political. So I was like,
no, it's homeopathy.
Oh, homeopathy.
And GM Skeptics on there.
That shit just makes me fucking irate anyway, man. Coming from a medical background and then fucking hearing people. Ugh.
My last video, I did it on willow witching or dowsing rods or whatever. Somebody is trying to show how to douse for electrical wires and gas blinds, and it's like, no, I can't let that go.
No. You call your local government. And
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
where are my lines?
I'm gonna call the gas company instead of going out with a couple fucking rods and taking my chances.
Well, I mean, I even what I did on there too is I even slowed it down. Hi, Lavender Lady.
Hi, Anthony.
I slowed it down right where his thumbs are, and you could actually see his thumbs moving or whatever. I don't know. It's if you don't understand what the idiomotor effect is on then you can believe it. Because I remember when I was a kid, I did with using a Y-shaped branch or whatever, and it actually worked. But then you don't realize what you're actually doing. But it's actually your subconscious mind actually moving it for you.
I mean, it can be believable if it was something like, the electromagnetic current of the earth or something stupid like that, if there was a scientific explanation for it. But I mean, I don't know if they've ever proven or disproven something like that. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you throw a rock at a window, sooner or later you're going to hit that window. So if you go out and dowsing around, sooner or later you're going to find something underground where it's supposed to be. I guess it's the same kind of same. It's just a chance thing almost, wouldn't you think?
I DM'd you a link, Lavender Lady. Diana.
Auntie. Hey, I've been trying to learn Mother, and is that in a weird time signature? Is that like 6?
It switches from 4/4 to 6/8 timing.
I thought so because like the strum pattern is weird on it. I was like, this sounds weird. I wonder
Yeah,
if
no, Mother. Mama's gonna wait up until you get that part. It turns into that waltz part or whatever. It's 6/8 time. And Pink Floyd did that a lot. They switched from 4/4 to 6/8 timing a lot. And then you got Money, which is 11/8 timing, I think, or something like that. I can't remember.
That's a really weird time signature.
Boom, 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 boom.
You know, the hardest thing to learn for me is reggae bass guitar, man. Like,
oh man,
it's like it don't even go along with the drums. I don't even know what the fuck they're just like off the little world just playing.
Oh, even like Mexican Fiesta bass lines are kind of like way out there. And
it sounds beautiful, but I just don't know. I'm not sure what they're following. It's not the guitar or the drums.
It's definitely some different ways of approaching the bass attack. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely thinking outside the box. That's for sure. It is really cool ass shit, though.
Yeah. Oh, I love reggae bass lines. Raga.
Yeah, my musical taste is so eclectic. I listen to everything from literally like bluegrass to death metal.
Lavender Lady says it's in 7/4 timing, and I believe that is correct. Yes.
Oh, Money's in 7/4. Okay, that's still a weird time signature. So that's 7 beats in the count of one.
Mm-hmm.
Whole beat. That's just a weird. I don't even know how you count that out.
Oh, it's like take 5. What's that? 5/4 time? The do 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 do.
Then I had another time signature on top of that with a polyrhythm, and then you got Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
A bunch of atheists talking about music.
Hi.
Hello.
Yay. I just got off the place. The stream I'm on Sundays and Wednesdays with NCG Studios.
Yeah.
So, and I just happened to see you running yours, I think, near the end of our stream. And we've got a little bit of news. Dr. Jones has already put it on air, so I think I can as well. This coming Sunday, 7 p.m. on the place, we will have a special guest, one Aaron Ra.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's been on there.
So,
did you get to catch? Did you get to catch the Aaron? He was just on Cersei's channel.
From what I saw, I was just there. From what I saw, they were still waiting for him.
Oh no, it just got over about what, a half an hour ago or so.
About 45 minutes.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So when I went in there, it was waiting for and everything. Okay, so they did actually pull it off.
It was pretty good. And it was really lighthearted. It was weird. It's weird seeing Aaron in that laid back. It was. I mean, he's always laid back, but I mean, people not asking him crazy ass, like expecting him to be a science teacher. It was good. Did you make it to your ball game?
I most certainly did, and unfortunately, the good guys lost. But what can I tell you?
That happens. That happens.
Yeah, I'm still in my Nationals gear.
What about them? What do you think of the Cubbies the last few games? Haven't them comebacks been crazy?
Now, I unfortunately have not watched those games. I'm going to have to go back and watch those.
Like the other day, they were playing Cincinnati, and it was they were in extra innings, I believe. They were in the 10th inning. It was bottom of the 10th. Bases were loaded, and the Cubs were up to bat. They had one out, and then they had a guy up there with a full count. So the pitcher had no choice. He either had to pitch it down the pipe, or he was going to walk a run in. Well, he ended up walking in the run. So I bet he got his shit reamed when he got back to the fucking dugout, man.
Oh man,
Walked the run in. I have never seen that done in over innings. The scoring run is a walk in.
I'm trying to remember. I may have seen something to that effect years ago, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, it was. But their comebacks have been phenomenal. I mean, they've been down by like 8-9 runs, and they've been coming back. It's been pretty beautiful lately.
So they're doing it again, because when I I think many people know this already. I went last year to see the total solar eclipse. I went to Carbondale, Illinois. Yeah, I stopped in Chicago for 3 days, and I saw a game at Wrigley Field. And the game I saw was one of those. It was an almost comeback. They were down 9-0 in the second inning. They actually tied it, but unfortunately, Cincinnati won 13-10. But that was the game where you had 4 home runs in an inning, 3 of them consecutively, and the crowd was going nuts.
Yeah.
And just to be there in Wrigley Field,
Yeah.
to see the friendly confines, that's been on my bucket list for a while, and I have finally done it, and it's just a beautiful place. So there's that, and I'd been to a game at the old Yankee Stadium before they pulled it down. My ex dragged me out there, and she didn't have to drag me too hard. So no, not at all.
I would like to go to Fenway before it's too late.
That's my next one. If I can work out a way, I want to see a game at Fenway. I have driven past it. I have seen the green wall from the highway, but I have never seen a game at Fenway Park.
Yeah, that would
And
be
I'd
cool.
love to.
I might hit Busch Stadium since I'm close enough. I mean, I'm only an hour farther from St. Louis than I am from Chicago, so I might hit Busch Stadium just so I can say I've been there.
Is that still the old cookie cutter?
No, they got it. Busch Stadium's a newer stadium.
Okay,
They don't have their old one anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't remember for the life of me because, unfortunately, I don't follow the Cardinals too closely. I'm sorry, not the Cardinals.
There's the link for you, Compel the Unbeliever.
We can stop talking about baseball if you guys want to join in. I was just asking them about the last few games. I was asking her about the last few games.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is the Cardinals, St. Louis.
Yeah. I'm not a big Cardinal. I only follow them because I'm a Cub fan and they're the Cubbies' nemesis in this area. You know how that goes. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm the weird one. I'm a Nationals fan here in Pittsburgh.
I like the Nationals too. I like the Nationals as well, and I like the Red Sox too. I like underdog teams.
Because I remember
underdog teams.
I actually remember the Senators, and I was so pissed off when they left D.C. to become the Texas Rangers. And there were years and years where the nation's capital did not have baseball, and that's just sacrilege. Okay. Yeah. So when the Expos moved down to D.C. in 2005 and became the Nationals, I was so thrilled. And I try to make a Nationals game every year. And, today was this year's game. It's unfortunate, though, the way the schedule works out. The out-of-division teams, you've only got one chance to see them, one series.
Right.
The way it used to be when I was young, you would have a home series and an away series on each side of the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's how it's always been for most teams. Yeah.
And then that doesn't happen anymore because there are like 12,000 teams plus the interleague play, and that really screws stuff up because, sorry, I just don't care about the Indians coming to play the Pirates. Okay. I grew up in Cleveland, but still,
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to listen to the World Series a couple of years ago, and it was one of those cases where I just didn't care who won because I do like the Cubs. I have somewhat fond memories of the Indians.
Okay.
I almost
and
don't
we
care.
have something going on back there.
As long as it's not the Yankees.
Hold on, I'm just getting a phone call. I'll mute it. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I thought an ice cream truck was driving by or something. I don't know.
It's not quite ice cream truck music, but yeah.
There was one when I was very young that would drive by. The company was called Uncle Marty, and you had one of those those standard ice cream trucks, the box with a cab on it, and you would hear ding 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. And that's all it was. But it was so distinctive. Every kid ran out there with his nickel. And, the guy made a killing.
Oh, I might as well announce it now too. On Monday night, Lavender Lady is going to be my guest on the Heathen DriveBYE at 7
Who the
o'clock.
hell? Who the hell is that?
Hey, I don't know. Somebody. then a week from there, is it the 23rd? Is it a week from Monday, right? Bionic Dance will be my guest.
Oh my, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I just asked her. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. She's one of my favorites.
Kate is a wonderful person. She
I love her,
really
man.
is.
I love her.
I'm in the midst of setting up something for the 23rd. I've got to DM the guy in question now that we've got all that settled, and I think you know about that, Johnny. But I won't say anything until we actually have everything scheduled.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to make promises I can't keep.
Exactly. Me neither.
Yeah. But that ought to be fun.
I'm really looking forward to it.
And I'll definitely want to catch yours with Kate. And it sounds like we've got a whole bunch of really good content coming up, and that makes me happy. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, and keep the infighting to a minimum.
Yeah. That's not going to come up in your show, hopefully, is it?
Nope. Nope,
Okay.
Never.
Thank you. I've seen enough of that. 2 of them going now, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love them all dearly, but still,
That's the thing. It's hard when 2 people that you're friends with are fighting with each other, because it's like, well,
yeah, who am I supposed to like? Oh, that's what happened to me with the old guard. The YouTubers of eons past.
yeah,
Guys like Thunderfoot, and when the Kraus thing hit, or at least the way I read it, and please tell me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, I want to correct myself. But it seemed to me everybody took up sides, and if you didn't take up sides, they both jumped on your arse.
Yeah, I wasn't around for that, I guess. So I can't really comment on it, because I really don't know what happened there.
And some people wanted to wait for a while until they had what they considered enough to go on, and got vilified for it. I can think of one right now. I can think of Seth, because he caught hell for not taking a position immediately. But I mean, it took me a while, but I wasn't a prominent YouTuber. Well, I wasn't a YouTuber at all at that point. And when Christina Rad came out with her video, that was what did it for me.
She popped in a while back there and said something about did a video. Then she hasn't done anything for like a year before that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's got things to keep her busy or something. I hope it's not that she's simply hiding.
Hey, you know who I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say, I noticed that my favorite Christian satirist is back and active again. Miss Betty Bowers.
Oh, she is so great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because she hasn't had a video in a long time, but I've seen her. She's been a lot more active on YouTube and shit. She cracks me up, man. Yeah. My friend called me. Here's what happened. You guys want to hear a little soap opera, like a little miniature soap opera?
Brought to you by Procter & Gamble.
My friend got married to this chick he'd known for a year, but let me put this into context. He met her at AA. So how well do you know someone you meet at AA? And
I think the whole point of AA is in that second A there.
Yeah, yeah. And like so they end up getting married, and he of course didn't tell me until after the deed was done, because he knew I would tell him he's a fucking idiot and what the hell are you thinking. And she just came over a little bit ago, like, oh, hey, Jake told me to stop by here, and you know, he wanted to talk to me. I'm like, well, he don't live here, and I'm like, and I know where he lives, but I'm not about to tell dude's ex-wife where he lives. You know, I'm not getting in the middle of that I'm not getting in the middle of that shit. So that's what my little phone call was about. Was like, he was like, did you call? And I'm like, yeah, I called. I'm like, your ex came over here asking me to be all shady and tell you where she was and tell you where you were and shit. He's like, well, thanks for not ratting on me. I said, anytime, brother, anytime.
If I ever start a business, it's going to be a bar, and I'm going to call it the 13th Step.
I love it.
That's great. Hey, you could have little big books as coasters.
Just build it right across from the treatment center.
Johnny, you would make plenty of money, dude.
You are a sick man, Johnny. I know. I knew there was a reason I left you.
Have a heroin clinic and a fucking shooting gallery right across the street.
Oh man.
That's humor there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
That's the thing that really pisses me off, though. You know, when you talk about, say, a heroin clinic or recovery clinic or stuff like that, people don't want that anywhere near them. But when you think about it, these are people trying to straighten themselves out.
Right.
What's the problem?
I have not met many people that go to rehab unwillingly, and even if you do go to rehab unwillingly, they can't keep you there. You can sign yourself out at any time. This isn't communist Russia, you know. I mean, so the people that are there because they want to get better. I mean, we're all human. We all have the same fears and faults. Drug addicts are going to slip. That's what we do. I mean, if we didn't slip, we wouldn't be drug addicts, now would we? That's just kind of the way it was. I mean, obviously, if we had control over our addiction, then we wouldn't have an addiction. So I have a soft spot for, you know, addicts. You guys know my story. I'm not going to bore
your history, right?
Oh, and I'm sorry, Stags, if you can hear me. I don't know if you're muted and walked away or if you're just muted because you have nothing to say. But I'm sorry to hear about your what you tweeted earlier, man. That does hurt me.
Oh, what
regardless. Happened? I know that. Oh, just I believe a lost friend because of the old dreaded H.
Oh fuck.
And that was my drug of, well, no choice, I guess you could call it. And I've lost a lot of friends to heroin, so I know how that feels, man. That hurts me whether I know who it was or not. It still hurts me. Anybody that is wrapped up in that, it hurts me.
Well, the thing is, it's so taboo that people that are doing it have to keep it. You got to hide it from everybody. And if it was just accepted as, well, this is something that if you're gonna do it, you might get addicted to it, and you definitely get physically addicted to it.
Right. You know? I don't know. I mean, like, I think they should treat it as a sickness, if that's what it is. I mean, obviously, I have no control. Yes, I'm the one that got myself addicted. I am aware of this. I hate when people are like, well, drug addicts have no one to blame but themselves. Well, yeah, for initially taking the drugs, but tell me what teenager doesn't experiment with drugs? And some can do them and walk away just fine, and others fucking, you know, once they do it, it's locked in their system. I mean, some people have addictive personalities while others don't. I mean, that's just the way it is.
There you go. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I got kind of lucky in that sense. I mean, well, I never tried heroin. I actually tried crack once, and my assessment was, what's the point? Now, a lot of people told me, well, then you didn't do it right. Well, if I didn't do it right, I'm happy I didn't do it right. But it was, you know, like a 30-second buzz, and it was all over. And it's like, I'm singing Peggy Lee here. You know, is that all there is?
It'd probably be easier for me to name the ones that I haven't done.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't done BCP. That's about it. I think.
I haven't done that or heroin. I mean,
yeah, I've done pretty much everything.
Plenty of LSD. I was on some sort of Timothy Leary freaking journey at one time.
Like in the late '90s, early 2000s, I was probably, I don't know, my late teens. I had a friend that was pretty much the supplier of acid to my little town. So I was eating like acid like 3 times a week, and it was to the point where I was eating like a 10 strip at a time. I mean, I was tripping my nuts off.
Well, I figured out the secret to the universe about 5 times too in that journey.
I'm surprised I can still think.
I was going to say, did you ever not see anything with color trails behind it? You know,
Right? Yeah. I get a kick out of when people are talking about doing drugs and they like they'll tell a story about like how they were tripping on acid and seeing a little leprechaun walk up to them, and I'm like, no, you didn't. That did not happen, and you've never done acid in your life, have you?
right?
You know, I'm like that kind of. I mean, when we say hallucinations, they get that. They get the idea that they've seen something that wasn't there. But when reality, hallucinations to us is
start talking about psychedelics and Staggerson comes back.
If I'm gonna believe that you saw a little leprechaun walk up to you and say hi, you better first tell me that before you took that acid, you were up for 9 days.
Right. You're on a 9-day meth bender and then ate some acid. That may happen.
And I'll be like, oh, I'm glad you didn't kill anybody or anything as the demons rain down from the sky. I met a guy who did exactly that, was up for 9 days and then took some acid. And he told me that he met God, and God told him to cut into his chest and stop his heart. So he took a bottle and broke a bottle and cut into his chest, and he told me that he stuck his fingers in there and felt his heart beating.
Holy shit.
I was pretty skeptical, but he lifted up his shirt and he showed me scars on his chest right there where his heart is. There were pretty fucked up deep scars, and there were some other people there that corroborated the story. And
wow,
there wasn't the 9 days and then the acid thing. I believe it. You'll see anything your imagination.
Well, yeah, but if you've been up for 9 days, you're already seeing crazy shit anyway, chasing shadow people and fucking. Then there's
hearing voices, the radio.
Yeah, the Bush Brigade's out to get you.
Yeah,
I mean, I still have to wonder a little bit, because there's this thing called a sternum and a rib cage between you and the heart. But I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
To feel something.
Well, he didn't like. Yeah, I always wonder that too. But he said he just, I mean, he was out of it, so he doesn't remember exactly what happened. But he said he just kind of could feel his heart beating with the tips of his fingers. So maybe he didn't get real far in there. You know what I mean? I doubt he got past the rib cage with a glass bottle. But
yeah, it's
a scar there.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely screw yourself up with broken glass, definitely. Or cat claws, for that matter. There's a certain little kitty with her claws saying, I haven't had a lap all day, stupid human. Where have you been?
Right. How dare you leave, asshole?
You paid $35 for that ticket. You could have left it on the desk. Yeah, you know.
I'm glad you had a safe trip and back. How far is that for a trip of you from Pittsburgh to DC?
Oh no, I saw the game here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, so you didn't have to go all that far then? Okay, gotcha. Good.
Yeah, in miles, it's not very far at all. It's only about
time-wise. I bet it's a different story though, right?
Oh yeah, because well, I don't own a motor vehicle simply because I can't afford the insurance and the maintenance and the registration and all this other heavy stuff. Yeah, so I take a bus. The bus takes about 2 hours to get from here to there, because I have to go to one stop, wait for another bus, and then go. Whereas were you in a car, it would take maybe 20 minutes, one of these deals.
Right.
And it's just a consequence of where I live. That's one of the unfortunate things of living here. In the other neighborhood, the one I had to move from, I just go out to the corner right outside the apartment, hop a bus that would come every 20 minutes, and I'd be downtown in 20 minutes.
Now, the money you're saving moving to where you were and the situation you're in now, is that worth the extra added transmute for you?
Well, what happened was I was in a project-based Section 8 unit in the other neighborhood. The owners of the units let them go to shit until HUD said,
They don't
We're
pass
not-
anymore.
Yeah, they don't pass. We're not giving you the subsidies anymore. So I had to move because I there was no way I could afford $750 a month for this shitty unit that was falling down all around me. So yeah, I had to move out of there, and this was the unit that was available. So that's basically why I'm here. You know, it was either that or be nice and comfortable during the winter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've gone that route already, and I don't want to do it again. Yeah, when you're homeless 3 times, you don't want to be homeless a 4th.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Had a fun time.
I mean, it's a beautiful apartment. I think you can see some of it behind me. This is what they call the living room. I call it my studio. And I basically do all of my living in here. Beautiful kitchen over in the back there.
Yeah.
What they call the bedroom, I call the library.
Yeah.
There are 840 books back there.
Well, it
Plus,
is a library then, technically.
I actually have it set up like library stacks. I mean, the bedroom is actually large enough for me to do that. The other one was nowhere near large enough. But you've got the bookshelves away from the wall, perpendicular, and then back to back. And I've got, let's see, 1, 3, 5. I got 6 bookshelves right now. Hopefully, I'll get more. I'll have to talk to my cousin about that and see what happens, because I don't have room for another book back there. And if you know me, that's not a good situation for me to be in. It's who the heck said it or wrote it? When I get a little money, I buy books. And if there's anything left over, I buy food.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that sounds like me too. Did I tell you what? I found my girlfriend works in the library, so I usually get first dibs on the books they're discontinuing and putting out. And
okay.
I found a Korean. I'm like, holy shit, a Korean. I'm like, I've never, I can learn a little bit about the Muslims now.
I have to get into mine. I really haven't cracked it since I bought it. It came as part of a set. I belonged to, of all things, the Book of the Month Club about 25 years ago.
That's odd.
And one of the things that they sent for the monthly thing was a set of, let's see, the Torah, the New Testament, the Quran, the Analects of Confucius, and the Dhammapada, the Indian holy book.
Yeah.
And I probably screwed up the pronunciation of that. And I've gone through most of them, but I still haven't cracked the Quran open.
Yeah, the Quran's, it's hard reading, man. It's you think the Bible's hard reading? I was reading the Quran the other day, and I'm like, man, this is quite it's quite archaically written, and it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy reading.
Yeah, and I
Very
remember.
archaic.
Oh God! And if it's worse than the Bible, Jesus Christ! It was all I could do to get through the rules and regulations in Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Exodus.
That just makes you feel like it just makes us feel like pieces of shit, because them chapters are all about us sinners. So pretty much everything in there, I'm like, oh man, I pretty much fail on all this shit.
And you shall take 3 measures of grain and mix it with a measure of oil, and this is a sin offering. And then you shall have the skin of wine, and this is a libation. And there's like chapter after chapter after chapter of this, and it's like, oh God, please give me a break. Write something interesting.
Yeah, and if you do this at this time, then you're ritually unclean, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many rules in the Pentateuch. There's lots of rules there.
Absolutely, and it's been a long time since I've gone through that, and I don't know. Someday when I'm feeling like I hate myself and want to torture myself, I might do that again.
Yeah, when you said that it came with the Book of the Month Club, I thought, man, that's kind of weird. But then I thought back to the 90s, and they were kind of weird. So
yeah, I got some really interesting stuff out of them.
You know, and that's stuff that's all educational. I mean, if you're in, I mean, most people don't want to know any. I mean, they put blinders on. They don't want to know anything outside of their own comfort zone. So you know, but some people will actually take the time to learn about other religions that they criticize. You know.
And then from them, I also got the complete works of Arthur Conan Doyle.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Fantastic reading, and I also belong to the Science Book of the Month Club, and got some great science books out of there. And one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me when I went back to uni back in '92, I took a course in Intro to Neuroscience, and they gave out the the textbooks that you had to buy and everything. And the textbook for that course, I had already got through the Book of the Month Club.
Huh.
And it was the same damn book, same damn edition. And it was also through the Book of the Month Club about 1/3 the price that the university wanted.
Oh, I guarantee it. I mean, I can't imagine what books cost in '92. I like a friend of mine just went back to school and like his book list was fucking insane, and the prices on it. I mean, like it was like $1,000 worth of books. I'm like, holy shit, dude!
Easily.
$1,000 worth of books. I'm like, holy fuck, that is insanity. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Steve. I mean, first time through uni, I took a calculus course. I bought the calculus textbook. It was $25 in 1974.
Holy crap!
When I went back to uni, I retook the calculus because I had forgotten most of it, and it was one of the requirements for the neuroscience program. I bought the calculus textbook. It was about $220 in 1992.
Okay, so for adding inflation, $25 in 1972, you said, or 74?
74.
74. That'd be about what, $400 and some dollars today, give or take.
No, it'd be about
not
like
exactly.
a little over 100 or something.
You think so? That low?
Yeah, it prices double about every 18 years, plus or minus.
So about once every generation, then.
Yeah, cat alert, cat alert.
What do we have here? I'm just gonna try something. 1974.
I mean, you can look it up the exact, but yeah, it's something. I remember that. It's one of the few things I remember.
Let's see. Okay, $1974 inflation calculator. Here we go. I wonder what I'll have. Okay, amount $100. Start year 1974. So what I'll do here, I'll make it 25, and we'll calculate. Wait, 25. Where the heck is the answer to this thing? Oh, here it goes. 25 and 74 is equal to 127.58 today.
Wow.
So the textbook prices went up a whole hell of a lot faster than the inflation rate.
Yeah,
just like medical.
Yeah.
Because if I go to 1992, that $25 was only $71.15. Yet I paid, I think it was 200 something for the calculus textbook.
Yeah, that's crazy, and they can get away with it because I mean, do they really have any do they have any competition in the textbook field? I mean,
not really. No.
I mean, there's Houghton Mills is the only textbook company that I can think of off the top of my head, and I don't know if that's the actual company or if that's just the publisher.
I don't know if those are one and the same or not. You're thinking Houghton Mifflin?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I think there may be one or two smaller ones, but I'm not sure. Now, who would know?
Don't forget the creation textbooks. I'm sure they got a few of them too.
Who would know about that would be Aaron.
Oh, I bet he would.
He was big into I think he still is, into the whole textbook thing.
That's mostly for public education, K through 12. He's familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Definite point there.
I would still like to know about whether the textbooks companies got a monopoly on their shit or not. Kind of. You know,
Pretty much.
I thought monopolies were supposed to be done away with. What happened?
Well,
the 80s and Reagan.
I'm not a politic kind of guy, so I have no idea when it comes to politics.
yeah,
Well,
the
'cause-
Reagan era really fucked everything up.
And that history is way too near for me to like. I like it to be old.
Oh, okay. Like Sumeria or something like that.
No,
Are you sure it isn't
not
something to do with
quite.
the
I do
Bible?
like that old of history, but like World War I and before is my. But ancient history is really where what I really like. Like from like maybe the Middle Ages back. That's my favorite eras.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't got into too much of that. I took a Russian history course second time at uni that got into that era, but that was as close as I got. When we did the time of troubles, the Mongol hordes invading
Yeah.
the entirety of Eurasia.
Yeah. Well, as a poor person, I watch a lot of there's wonderful lectures on YouTube. You can get them from Stanford and Harvard and Yale, and there's just I've watched some. I just got finished watching like a 23-hour series. It was a lecture about Norse mythology that was very very enlightening. It was really cool. I mean, it might be dry for some people, but I'm a nerd and I like that kind of shit. So. I mean, most people probably couldn't sit through 23 hours of Norse mythology, but I thought it was fucking riveting, to be honest.
That sounds like something that could be fun.
Yeah, it is. There's what if you ever any subject you can think of, you can usually find a collegiate level lecture on it.
Well, good for you for learning that, because the only Norse mythology I know I learned from Stargate and
Thor comic books.
and Marvel.
Yeah. Marvel stays pretty true to some things, and then they take huge liberties with others.
I believe it.
I never. Are you a comic nerd too, Steven?
I was
I'm a
back
comic
in the
nerd. I mean, I'm
80s
not
and
gonna lie.
90s, but not anymore.
Right. Like actually the newer stuff, like I don't know about comic books themselves, but DC has put out some top-notch animated like I guess they would be like a run of a series of comics, so it's the whole story told as a whole. I wish they would up their live action game a little bit. Marvel's kind of passing them by on that aspect. But in my opinion, DC's always had the better characters anyway.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wait, I don't even remember. Oh God, I feel like such an idiot for saying this. Was Ghost Rider DC?
Yes.
Okay, I remember the re-release, and what was that? Early 90s.
Yeah, I believe so. Like
Yeah.
92. I think I was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I think you and me are like the same age. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. Although the movie with Nicolas Cage sucked.
Yeah, it did.
And yes, I'm being a terrible person. This is a jar of Nutella.
You know what?
That's
I
okay.
think
You're an adult.
I think DC ought to explore some of their lesser known characters, like there was a comic called Aziel. It was about like a demon-like creature that was actually a mutant, and people. That's where the story of God and the Devil came from. That would be a cool story arc for them to look into. You don't have to go with your. Marvel has shown that, and long ago, you don't have to necessarily go with your top guys to make a good movie.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is so obscure. It was not that popular of a comic book, you know. I heard that Spider-Man is going to be fighting Morbius in a future in a upcoming Spider-Man. That ought to be interesting. How they make Morbius look. Morbius is a vampire / mutant. I don't. It's hard to explain.
I was never allowed to have comic books, and I feel deprived.
Well, you can have them now. There's no time like the present to get caught up. Comics are still good. I'm like the world's biggest kid. I love comics.
I mean, I would occasionally see some of the comic books that they had at the barber shop. And if there was any way I could do it for a decent price, I would love to get the old Dr. Stephen Strange.
Ooh, yeah,
There were there were a couple of those at the one barber shop I always had to go to. And I would reread that comic book over and over and over again because it was just so riveting. And I'd just like to read the rest of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the world thinks that comic books are just for kids, but there's been some pretty heavy messages in comic books through the years, man. There's been some very, very, very well thought out story writing, good plots. So
Hell of a lot better than the Bible.
Yeah.
For real. And much kinder too.
The slimy bastards thought they were a waste of time and 10 cents. Shows you how old I am. Well, I'm about to be a little bit older because let's see now. 9 days to go, kids.
Oh, happy birthday.
I'm going to tell you that too right now because let's face it, I'm a stoner and I forget. Oh, 7/20 ain't that hard to remember. But
yeah, it's
happy birthday just in case. I'm sure someone on Twitter will remember, and then that will spark my memory. So I'm not too worried about it. But
I want to see about doing an online birthday party.
That'd be cool. I had it online on my birthday. I had a birthday bash, and that was a good time.
If I can get some time together, that Peter has some free time, that we can talk about OBS. Because I have no idea what to do with OBS, and just to get some simple streaming through OBS going.
Another buddy of mine that just taught me like a way easier way than someone else was telling me how to run it. His name is Vash Lancet, and Vash took me through it, and it's this other guy's like, oh, you got to download a voice meter and all this and blah blah blah, and I didn't have to do any of that shit, dude. It was literally I had to change 2 settings on my OBS, one on my OBS and one in my Discord, and you can run your voice through Discord, but it comes out as OBS on the screen. You just need to get it.
Yeah, I've seen that done.
Yeah. So I need to fiddle around with my bit rate to get my lag to. My computer's getting old and I got a lot of stuff on it, so I need to fiddle with my bit rate to get the lag out. But other than that, it seems to work fairly well.
Now, which OS are you running again?
Windows 10.
Oh, okay. I don't know if.
But I just have a small laptop, and I don't have very much space on it, nor do I have a fucking very strong processor. So I get by with it, but I'm not going to be making any fucking grand movies or anything.
No, I'm running Linux, so I may or may not have a few different things to do. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm sure if you have any issues, I'm sure you can find a YouTube video that'll help you. Muddle through at the very least.
I will do a lot of searching because I tell you, and I'm going to sound arrogant when I say this, there are so many YouTube videos, how-to videos out there made by kids who have absolutely no idea of how to present a how-to.
Right.
Ram through.
They do have the knowledge of what they're doing, but they explain it so fast. They explain it so fast and in such a fucking hodgepodge fucking method that it won't come across to you.
Yeah, and it's very rare to find a decent.
Yeah, it is hard to find a good how-to video. Or, God damn it, I keep fucking spilling my bong water. Is this a sign from God, guys? Or am I just a stoner and I can't keep my bong upright?
Might be the latter.
Okay, I think so.
Well, then the other thing you might want to do is, do the 4-foot bong and overtoke on it.
I bet I don't even think I had the lung power for a 4-footer. That should kill me. I'd probably pass out from the overexertion.
I tell you, it was amazing. One of the guys in the dorm, first time at uni, had a 4-footer, and I don't know if anybody else does this, but if I cough with a lungful of marijuana smoke, I get instantly higher than Voyager 1, okay, which is about 1 billion miles out. And then there was the one day where we were just sitting around, we were smoking up, and I overtoked, and I could not see, and you had that rushing sound in the ears.
You got the wah-wahs a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you feel all like just like you're buzzing all over your whole body.
Yeah.
Lack of oxygen.
I don't know how I did it, but I found my way to my own room, collapsed onto my own bed, and I couldn't see this damn thing, so I don't know how the hell I found it. And my roommate had the McCloud television series playing on the damn television. And instead of seeing the room, I'm seeing the McCloud as if it were a dream. You're manufactured. So it's not a leprechaun walking up to you, but you're getting that sort of dreamish vision going, just building a story around what you're hearing. God, that was weird.
I wish I could go back to when I was at first, when you first start smoking weed when you're younger, like the camera click feeling you get, like when you're stoned, like you'll be looking at something and then you're looking at something else, but you don't remember turning your head. So it's like a camera click thing. So I mean, I can see where you could mistake a movie playing for like almost like a dreamlike sequence. Because that's how it feels almost. It feels dreamy. Like it's just like click, and then you're over here, and it's like click again. It's just like your brain shuts off for a second.
Because it happened to me one other time where I got higher than a fucking kite. And are you familiar with the Fire Sign Theater?
I'm not sure. I don't think I am.
They were a drug humor type group that was popular in the late 60s on into the 70s. And one of the things they did was a parody of an old
Fireline group. They're called
Fire Sign Theater.
Fire Sign Theater. Were they like an improv group, kind of?
They were very heavily scripted, but they sounded improv.
Okay.
It's amazing how they did that.
I've checked that out. I wonder if they have any like old recordings of them or anything.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Are they?
Definitely all over the place.
I enjoy comedy. I love and I like older comedy too. I mean, like I'm a Monty Python fan, huge.
Okay, but these guys were doing a parody of a 1930s radio show, and you had that dreamlike state going, and I'm seeing the sound stage with everybody around the mics doing their stuff and everything else like that. It was funny as all hell. I loved it.
You just have a vivid imagination. That's a good thing.
Yeah, what can I tell you? I mean, it got me as far as it did, and okay, now I know what the problem was.
I think that I've always been a voracious reader, and I think that attributed to my imagination, because like I'm so disappointed when like I'll read a novel and they'll like they'll make it into a movie or serialize it, and I'm always disappointed because I'm like, man, you cast that guy totally wrong. That is not what that dude looks like. Fucking
totally ruined it.
I hate it. Or when they like take a script and mash it all together for time's sake. I'm like,
that's what
you're cutting out some pretty important parts where there are more benign parts you could have cut out, and the movie would have been way better.
That's what they did to the Dark Tower series, as far as I'm concerned.
How do you cram fucking? Let me think. Okay, there's 7 books. Figure 800 would be around 800 would be the biggest one. The smallest one is about 200, but that's really light for Stephen King. So let's say. So let's say, just to be conservative, let's say about 2,000. Let's say 2,500 pages altogether. How do you cram that into a 2-hour movie?
Right.
500 pages. And I mean, I know Stephen King likes to hear himself talk, but there's still a lot of important information in them 2,500 pages. I mean, that's a really deep story.
Oh, yes, it is. And I think
I was really upset by the end, but I mean, what you're gonna be upset by the end because when you've been reading a book for fucking not 2 decades, but like 15 years.
I was gonna say close enough.
You know, I mean, like I grew kind of attached to that. It's still my favorite series, one of my favorite series of all time.
Because I started reading The Gunslinger back in '90. I can't remember when it was published.
It was published. Well, the first iteration of the Gunslinger, the first book was published, I think, in 1974 or 75, right after Carrie, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But he wrote it in college, so early 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
And as far as I was concerned, very well written for Stephen King. There was only one incestuous sex scene that didn't belong in there, unlike some of the other books.
He does have a weird affinity for incestuous sex scenes. I wonder
yes, he does.
I wonder if he has like some subconscious thing he needs to tell himself or something.
Because Pet Sematary went that direction.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some of the others.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in that guy's mind, to be honest with you. I mean, my mind's pretty fucking kooky, but I don't think I'd want to be in his. Welcome back. He's gone again. Steven must be having internet issues.
Well, those are better issues to have than psychological issues. Okay, so now Jags went away.
I'm in Freaky's chat while I'm sitting here watching you guys chat.
Well, you guys need to join in so we don't seem like dicks stealing up your stream.
Actually, it's just us three here now, ain't it?
Yeah. Yep. Just the three of us.
Gone. Guy's journey, he bailed out right away.
Yeah, he had some kids to do.
Yeah. I don't know. What is it, me or something?
Oh, geez, I wouldn't even want to be over there because they got like 7 people in the talking at once there.
Oh yeah, that's the you don't really get a lot of discourse in when there's 7 people to compete with. No, you don't.
Yeah, the more people you get, the more confused it gets, and the more chance there is for somebody to disrupt. A couple of days ago, it was Sunday. I actually had to boot somebody. It was the first time I had to boot somebody from one of my own streams, and it was not fun. But the guy was getting extremely disruptive, and everybody was up in arms about him. And it was like, okay, look, you got to go. And it was kind of funny because Theo was in there, Theo Maki, and he happened to mention to me, like, you know what? You just Dillahuntied that guy. And I was like, okay. Because it was like, okay, we're done. Click.
They do have a mob in there.
I'm just sitting over here.
Yeah, they do.
And what do we have? Okay, I see Steven. I see Piggle.
I think they're jumping back and forth.
Piggle. Oh, Beach. You're still here. Hi, Beach. And
hi, Beach.
Okay, now the Mediocrity's Maze comment's got to be old because he said he wanted to open a beverage store directly across from a church and name it Empty Redemption Center. Oh, Christ. I remember that shit. The MSB, the male slimy bastard, did own a beverage store. And when I was slave labor there, one of my jobs was to carry the empty glass bottles into the back and, put them into the cases and set them up and everything. And I was like, oh, shit. As well as, selling beer to the customers at the age of 10. And he could get away with it because Ohio law provided for that. You know, if it was your own kid, then it wasn't, you know, then that stuff wasn't covered under the law.
Yeah.
Where normally you had to be 21 to sell that shit. Oh, well. Ohio is weird.
I think all the states have their own little weird quirks, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's shit in fucking Illinois that would fucking blow your mind that I don't think twice about, and vice versa. And you know, in Pennsylvania.
Well, there's a video that I have to complete someday, a video response. But I was thinking of citing the case of a guy in Ohio who showed up in court to prove that he was alive because he had been declared legally dead, and he lost.
How do you lose him? You're there. Obviously, you're alive.
It's some weird ass quirk where I think it was, if it has been more than 3 years since you were declared legally dead, then you remain legally dead no matter what.
Because they can't undo the paperwork?
Yeah, basically, under Ohio law at the time. And I think that was back around 2011 or 2010 or some shit like that. I don't know if it's been changed or not. If Ohio is still like I remember it, no, it hasn't been. But yeah, I was going to cite that as difference between a lexical definition and a legal definition. Because I mean, this guy's obviously alive, but as far as Ohio is concerned, he's dead. And yet, as far as the feds is concerned, he's alive. Go figure. But that's the weird shit that goes on in the Clarion household. And I'm watching myself talk, and it's like, holy shit, I'm weird. Now, what's on the telly?
That's Freaky's live stream.
Oh, okay. So you've got the audio from that going.
Yeah,
and then you've got the audio from this one muted somehow? Or are you trying to listen to both of them together?
I got my iPad and I was listening. I was watching their in the chat in their stream.
Oh, okay. I can't
I'm
do that.
multitasking here. I must have been dependent on this stuff or something.
I can't imagine how that would happen. I think that without my internet connection, I would just fade away and die. I mean, it's really about the only connection I have to the world.
It is. About 5 years ago, I might have said something different, but in the past 5 years, I always used to be an introvert, and I kind of get the older I get, the more introverted I'm getting.
Indeed, and I remember back in '96, somebody's telling me, "Well, don't you want?" It was AOL at the time. You know, don't you want them? No, not really. And you know, to see what happened in the intervening, 20 years. You know, like I say, now the machine is on throughout my waking hours, really.
Yeah.
And it's some video or other, or sitting on Twitter, or trying to make a damn video. Some one of these days I'm going to get good at scripting.
You know what? I love creating things and doing stuff like that. But boy, it seems like writer's block is killing me lately too. I just can't get into that concentrate. I gotta be in a certain mood or whatever, I guess, to start writing creatively.
Yeah. I mean, I could knock a script out in a day or so if I really put my head to it. It's the whole bit about putting the head to it.
That's for me anyway.
I mean, so SJ's going to have to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
and then Ken Ham posted something incredibly stupid this morning.
No, not him.
No,
what,
he
is-
would never.
what they were talking about Neanderthal brains or something like that on this one
That's
show.
the one.
I don't know why, for some mysterious reason, for some out of the blue reason, I just decided to go to Andrews and Genesis channel just for the hell of it, and they were talking about fucking Neanderthal brains being. What is the whole story on that? What is that?
I don't know what the story is yet because I haven't read the article. Because I saw this while I was getting ready to go to the ball game. I left the apartment at 10 to 9 in order to get to the ball game at noon. So, it's one of those deals. So I really didn't have time to read the article because when I was listening to the video, they didn't explain anything.
No.
At least all they did was name the title and then they ridiculed it.
Yeah.
So
this is the danger of evolution.
yeah.
I mean,
And they spent tens of thousands of dollars to do this stuff, and it's like, what are they doing?
I swore I could have never had Ken Ham make my jaw drop again because he said as many dumb things he can. But boy, he did it again. My jaw just went, what are you talking about?
But I've got to answer that one. I mean, if only to tell him, well, you just get to the point.
It's not even about like proving that wrong. It's proving him right is what he's trying to do, and that's all he ever tries to do. He tries to perpetuate his little.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to think that he was like doing it for the business part of it, but I think he seriously.
No, he really believes what he believes the bullshit he's peddling. He just knows he can get rich off it at the same time.
Yeah,
it's like Eric Colvin that I think is nefarious.
Oh, he's a slimy bastard. I can, dude, you got to remember, I've been a criminal for most of my life. I can see the criminality oozing out of that guy.
Oh yeah,
Eric Colvin's fucking a snake.
He's a freaking preacher's kid, and he's streetwise. I mean, that's what I see in him.
Yeah, and the preacher whose kid he is Kent Hovind.
And he's a snake in the grass too.
Oh yeah. I guess. Never mind. There's that's kind of if you're a preacher, you can't be a criminal. Yeah, that doesn't work.
That's not true. I've been in and out of 12-step programs, and I've met some preachers, and they can be alcoholics. So I don't see any reason why they can't be a fucking criminal too.
Oh, I know a shitload of Catholic priests who are alcoholics. I guess it was that altar wine or something.
Yeah,
and I'm only half kidding.
No, I believe you, man.
That's if they get none on the weekend or whatever. Or they don't get none on Friday.
I mean, believe it or not, I was an altar boy back in a former life. So was my cousin. We would trade stories about the priests.
Do they let girls be altar boys? I know that sounds like an odd question, but I mean,
no, it's not all that odd.
No, not really.
I think I remember it being discussed at one time.
Do they get any participation? I mean, like, I wonder if they have anything like a girl, like they could probably be in a choir or something. I imagine, right?
Well, yeah, definitely in a choir. I mean, you want those.
Do Catholic churches have choirs?
Oh yes, I used to sing in a couple of them.
Did you? I'd like to do that.
The only reason I stuck around the Catholics as long as I did, when I was at uni the first time, there was the local Catholic church. I liked singing in their choir, and the organist was really cute. Unfortunately, I found out later she was in high school, and okay, this was going to be a little bit of a problem with her father, a college sophomore trying to take his daughter out. And I was like, no, I think I'll back off.
So have you been back to your old hometown where you grew up since you started transitioning?
No, I have not. The last time
I wonder how they would react.
Oh, they've already reacted.
Oh, have they? Facebook and such.
I came out to the Slimy Bastards. For those who don't know, the Slimy Bastards are my so-called parents. There's a long story to that one. I came out because they were getting old. I didn't think they had much mileage left. And I didn't want to make a scene at a funeral, because I had already transitioned and it was obvious. Okay, guys. And as soon as I came out, it was his last words to me were, "You humiliate us." Her last words to me were, "Goodbye." And that's the last I heard of any of the family, save one cousin who still talks to me, and they don't like her either. I found out last October 2017, that he had died in September 2016, and she had died in May 2017. And that was accidental. I would occasionally perform a Google search on the name. And it turned out
that's too bad though that they had to spend their remaining years, living in hate like that. It is too bad.
Wasn't much of a change. He hated me from the moment I could speak. And I'm not talking about dislike. I'm talking about hate.
Just made your life miserable.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And I mean, okay, I got married in order to run away from home. I mean, think about that for a while. I was still trying to do the boy thing at the time, and this is something that boys didn't do. Okay, but yeah, it was 5.5 years from the time they quit speaking to me at all until they died. Now, I thought it was 6 years until I found out that they had died earlier. But I'll tell you what, it's the best 6 years of my life, because nobody was telling me that everything I did, said, thought, and was wrong, simply because I did, said, thought, and was it.
Right. I can't even imagine like the strife you went through in life. I mean, like I've had my own strife, but that's a totally different kind of strife. I mean, that doesn't even compare. I mean, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks really bad, but I mean,
I sometimes wonder how life would have gone had I gone ahead and run away at 14. I mean, it couldn't have been much worse than it did become.
No, your transition may have started earlier.
Maybe.
That's probably, that I'm sure you would have came to. I mean, had you came to grips with it long before the transition actually went into effect?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can remember I'm 10, 11 years old. I'm sitting at home alone, crying, thinking, am I like Christine Jorgensen? And what the fuck do I do if I am? So, I mean, it was that early that I didn't have a name for it, but I knew what was going on.
Right. You had the emotion and the feeling.
Yeah.
That's strange.
It was not until I was 52 years old that I finally transitioned. So that was 9 years ago.
Wow.
And it was because of, okay, you got a job, and then you got married, and then you got another job, and then you got divorced, and then you had a girlfriend, and you had another girlfriend, and one thing after another, until I was finally, the last ex had taken off, and I was by myself, and I just basically said, hey, look, if I don't do something about this, it's going to kill me. I just have to do it now, and found the gender clinic, and went with them, and did the whole transition thing, and well, not the whole transition thing.
I can check it.
Oh, that reminds me. I came across this video where this guy was comparing his false equivocating transgender to what the hell was it again? I can't remember, but to some mental illness or whatever of people that want to. There's one girl that looked at the sun all the time to make herself blind, and she wanted to transition. And I was like, you guys are fucking kidding me. So
are you talking about like phantom limb syndrome or whatever? Like,
I believe it's called body integrity identity disorder or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Would the guy's name be Trent Horn?
I'll have to look through my history and find it.
Because I actually locked horns with him on Facebook, and he brought that bullshit up. And it was only later that I started making those videos to Catholic Answers that you found me on. And Horn was one of the, I think he was the first one I took on.
And it just made me want to fucking puke when I saw it. Like, jeez, what an asshole.
Well, there was one of the Catholic guys that compared it to psychopathy. He said, you know, they say that this trans thing has a genetic component.
Did you say psychopathy? Do they know what a psychopath is?
He knew exactly what a psychopath was.
I'd like to know what correlation and cause. I would like to know what correlations he's making between the two.
Well, the way he put it was, they say that transness has a genetic component. Well, that doesn't make it right, because psychopathy has a genetic component, but that doesn't make it right to go out and kill people, does it?
No, but it's okay to be a psychopath.
And I let him have it for that one.
Not all psychopaths go out and kill people, by the way. Thank you very much.
Oh, right. Yeah, sometimes they do worse.
Sometimes they're just fucking like leaders of Fortune 500 companies. I would not be surprised if 75% of all CEOs are psychopathic, or at the very least sociopathic.
I'm kind of inclined to agree there. Yeah, easily. I mean, how else would they have got where they were, you know, using other people's skulls as stepping stones?
Right. Because you can't have any empathy when it comes to fucking, I mean, all you're doing, I bet you can be charming and, you know.
Like a certain person I can think of who is squatting in the Oval Office.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's charming. I mean, he's brash. He obviously doesn't have feelings for anybody but himself. I wouldn't be nonplussed to say that Donald Trump's a fucking psychopath. At the very least, he's a narcissist with personality disorders.
We ought to get a psychiatrist on here to psychoanalyze him. No, wait, it's been done. Oh shit!
I mean, I don't have a degree or anything, but I'm quite well studied in the medical field. So I mean, I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose anybody, but I just from what I see of him, he's definitely narcissistic, and I wouldn't be nonplussed to say he has a personality disorder or two.
Well, just like me, I'm not an actor, but I play one on television.
Right. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
That's the tagline on my website, and it's been there since 2004, and I haven't changed it.
It's still funny, and it's still relevant too.
Yeah. I should change. I'm not an actor, but I play one on YouTube.
Right. Or I'm not an activist, but I play one on YouTube.
There you go.
Black Pigeon Speaks.
He does?
That was the transgender normalizing mental illness. That's what
I'm not a big fan. I don't like any. I don't think I like any of his views, to be honest with you.
I've never heard of him really before. He's got a lot of freaking subscribers.
Yeah, he does. I'm not a big fan of him.
That's the one. I'll try and get a link here to you.
I know who he is.
Hey, Black Pigeon Speaks. Okay, comes up in the search.
While the L's, G's, and B's.
And there's his channel. Look at that.
The L's, G's, B's. I wonder if they're talking about LGBT.
Yeah,
that's wouldn't be. Never.
It's the transgender normalizing mental illness is what is the video that I've seen.
Okay, I'll have to see how old it is. Transgender mental. I wonder if I actually came across it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the title sounds familiar. Wonder if it's one of those I still have in my there it is. 16 minutes. Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner on the cover. 2 years. And no, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend have talked about this a couple times. We usually don't try to talk about religion too often because her being
Well, she's a believer, right?
yeah, she's devout Pentecostal and her dad's a pastor, but one of her brothers is gay. So like I'm like, so you think, and I've even said this to her before, I'm like, so do you really believe in your heart that me and your brother are both gonna burn in hell? I'm like, I mean, do you really believe that, you know? And like, I mean, do you really think your brother's any different than anybody else? Or I mean, like that your parents should treat him the way, you know, his parents do still talk to him. I'll give him that. They still love him. They won't entertain the idea that he's gay though. Like there's no bringing the boyfriend home to meet mom and dad. There's, you know, I mean, like, I don't know. And they probably think, you know, he's just, you know, they're them kind of Christians. Oh, he's just confused or rebelling against God or, you know. But at least they do still speak to him. That's one perk. But it's shitty that when he came to Illinois from Washington D.C., he lives in D.C., that we had to literally fucking like sneak to go see him. Like we had to meet him. Like I think we met him in like Monmouth or something. I don't know. It was about an hour or an hour and a half drive away from home. I think it was Monmouth.
Jesus Christ.
Might have been Ottawa. I don't know. I know it was an hour and a half away. It was one way or the either north or south of me. I can't remember now. Marijuana does funny things to your memory.
Rebelling against God is like me rebelling against my stuffed broccoli. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a stuffed broccoli, by the way.
I agree with you. I'm just telling you what they. But I mean, obviously, she's not as devout as she likes to let on.
God for the Atheist came into the chat. He's still out there?
Obviously, my girlfriend. Obviously, my girlfriend isn't as fucking religious or devout as she likes to think she is. I mean, she obviously knows I'm an atheist. She still dates me, so I mean, how really religious is she? I sometimes wonder that. You know, is she doing it just to appease her parents? You know, because she's the only one that stayed behind. The rest of them they screamed, man. The gay one ran away to Washington D.C. and her other brother's straight, but he has no part of the religion, but he's not shunned or anything. So, or I mean, I guess William isn't shunned either, but he's not real welcome either. Let's put it that way.
No, I'm not exactly straight. I'm kind of curved.
Right.
Bent. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did date a guy once. Didn't work out.
I've dated a girl once or twice or three times and it didn't work out any of the times. So
I can't even remember the last time I dated. I can't remember if it was a guy or a girl.
Now I've been alone for 9 years now, and it really helped. It's lonely as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just this little moments for me where it's like it'd be nice to be with somebody, but then it's like, yeah, but I could just throw my backpack over my shoulders and go now.
Right. You don't have anybody fucking getting in your business.
Yeah. Unless I really go out of my way to get in somebody's way.
I could not have seen the solar eclipse were I with somebody. Right. I mean, I decided 2 years ahead of time that I was going to save up and I was going to plan for this trip and everything, and I just planned it and I did it. Took 10 days and it was fun 10 days.
I never lied to my girlfriend going in. She knew from day one that I did not believe in God. I mean, I'm an agnostic, so I explained to her I'm an agnostic atheist, so I'm not ruling out the fact that there could be maybe somewhere, but I don't see it. There's no evidence of it, so I live my life as is. There is none. There is no God.
Yeah.
And like I was never dishonest about my beliefs. So, you know, I went to church with her a few times to make her parents happy, but I'm just like, they said that her dad said that he could see the contempt on my face, so he didn't want me to come back to church anymore. I'm like, was that obvious, dude? I thought I was trying to hold it together. I thought the music was cool.
No,
But other than that, I didn't like it. Oh, and the speaking in tongues freaked me out, dude. It kind of weirded me
Oh
out a little
man,
bit.
my sister pulled that shit. I like to,
Imagine a whole bunch of people doing it, like fucking hundreds of people, dude. It's scary.
well, she had stories. Now I like to tell
Fucking
people.
terrifying. They're all touching you and shit, and I'm like, fuck,
Ew.
this is weird, man. I don't like this. I need a Xanax. Get me out of here.
I like to tell people that the slimy bastards raised her and me, Roman Catholic. She found Jesus. I found Carl Sagan. When she found Jesus, she went full on Pentecostal, and she was living in Columbus, Ohio at the time, and would tell stories about being in church, and then a group of the people from the church would go to the local Denny's for breakfast and speak in tongues and roll around on the floor, the whole slain in the spirit thing, and this is
At Denny's?
a commercial enterprise. This is in a Denny's in Columbus, Ohio, and they didn't get thrown out. I don't know. They must have tipped well or something. I don't know. Well, no, Christians don't tip all that well. They tip fake $20 bills with tracts on them.
Yeah, they don't act very well either. I mean, you would think Christians would be. I think that's the one pass I give my girlfriend and her family is her family are honest to goodness good people. Like they would never hurt anybody. I mean, they're always there for you if you need them, you know? So they actually, I guess, live, if there was a Jesus, they'd live out Jesus would have wanted them to, or what their little fucking New Testament book says, you know? The good parts anyway. They don't like to look at the bad parts. No one does.
Oh, of course not. And the bad parts are the most fun.
Yeah. Like I asked about a few people the other day. I'm like, you all claim to be Christians. How many of you can say you've ever even read the fucking Bible? And they were kind of sheepish, and they're like, and a few of them answered, "Oh, I've read it." I'm like, "You've read the whole thing?" So I asked them about a verse, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought." The percentage is very, very low, man. Atheists probably read the Bible more than Christians do.
Easily. And as an acquaintance of mine once said, why is the weirdest book in the Bible the foundation of the theology? That being Revelation.
Right. Revelation is a fucking... That's just like... It's like a horror story is what it is. Like sci-fi horror story.
I'm trying to remember. Did Dante base Inferno on Revelation?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of similar iconography, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time since I've rock and rolled down that road.
I'm a little bit excited and a little bit bummed in a way because, well, the other day, this one girl that my brother knows, she lives in a town nearby here, but her dad died. When he spilled blood all over the plywood and stuff in the house or whatever, and she asked us to take it out of there. I mean, it was a tough job. But he was also a master craftsman. He had a whole workshop there, and she goes, I said, "Well, I really love that lathe there."
Okay.
And well, I got all the lathe and all the every chuck and everything for it. So I was like, "Wow."
Well, what's she gonna do with it? I mean, the dad's dead.
There's a lot of medical bills and stuff like that and all that, and it's like. I don't even think she's. I don't think she's getting a cent. So
I wouldn't have felt that guilty about it, man. I mean, you know.
Well, I don't feel. I feel bad that she had to lose her dad or whatever. But
well, of course, she can, that's human nature to feel bad.
But I'm gonna.
If you didn't feel bad, that's when I would worry.
I mean, it's a freaking 7-foot lathe, so I can just about do anything with it. It's like,
oh wow, that sounds nice. I like lathes.
Yeah,
it's a wood or metal lathe.
It's a wood one. I used to work on a metal CNC.
I don't have much experience on a wood lathe. I've ran all kinds of. I've everything from the CNC down to a regular fucking just chuck and spindle metal lathe, but I've never ran a wood lathe. I assume it's similar to a regular lathe.
And yeah, but you usually don't take like a chisel like tool and start grinding by your hands on a metal lathe. That'd be a little bit dangerous.
So like there's the tool, you fucking you screw it in toward there, but with the wood you use, it's by hand. You're the one that's the fucking.
There's fittings that you can put on there and do it. I don't even know. I've never actually used a wooden lathe, but it'll be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Well,
First thing you are drumsticks. That seems like an easy project, right?
You are probably not as easy as you'd assume, but you are the atheist carpenter, so you should be able to figure it out.
I'm lowly at that.
Quit being so humble. Although it is nice to see in people every now and then.
Yeah. Well, my next one is going to be that deck. I got a lot of time lapse footage on it, but I want to finish the deck before I put that one out. Took longer than I thought. I must have the hardest job of making videos compared to anybody, because all you guys do is like use your avatar. Just all you need is a phone and a microphone, and I need to set up the camera shot and work my ass off all day.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with fucking me wanting to. I just don't want my ugly mug out on the fucking in the world, because people do judge you by first appearance. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why, are you freaking hideous or what?
No, I'm not hideous. Nothing like that. But I'm just self-conscious. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
It's from being a fat boy from a young age. I think
you can read your. People, we know how to read your faces, and we don't even realize that we do. I guess. I mean, there is something to that. We know how to.
I mean, most people know what I mean. Like after streams, I'll turn my camera on. Like if it's just like in a non-live hangout.
There's 5 facial expressions we recognize, right? Surprise, anger, happy, sad,
yeah, and fear maybe, or disgust.
Probably
disgust, wasn't them?
Disgust. There you go.
Disgust.
No, it's not surprise. Surprise would be ooh. Arg.
I've been watching a lot more science-based stuff lately, and specifically on linguistics and the tie between animals and fucking how we might not be as special as we think when it comes to we're the only ones with speech, because animals have obvious. I mean, they communicate, and what else is speech besides communicating?
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. To me, anyway, I'm a huge nerd.
What do you guys think of that zip effect that I had posted up there before?
The what effect?
The zip effect. DIPF.
DIPF.
ZIPF.
Oh, ZIPF.
I was talking to you in that DM that we were on yesterday, Diana. I'll present it.
Please do.
Okay, this is the one. Given some corpus of natural language utterances, the frequency of any word is inversely proportional to its rank in the frequency table. Right?
Here's some charts for you to kind of see what.
I need to know what the stuff means first.
So, for instance, like let's say in language, the word "the" is one of the most common used words.
Yeah.
And if you just keep going down the line, the least common words used or whatever will follow a little pattern that's called the zip effect, and it's square rooted. If you go from the most, whichever one is and this stays true to whichever person has been doing the speaking. Go back and look at something that if we took the transcript of this conversation that we had, that would follow that rule with the most common words or whatever, and the least common. It would follow that rule.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
I wonder what the most least spoken word is.
Probably one that hasn't really been made up or.
No, I mean, like, there's got to. I mean, there's got to be. If there's a most spoken word, there has to be a least spoken word. And I wonder what the average word is.
Yeah,
Makes you wonder weird things.
Yeah, doing normal distribution on words.
I think this is the formula right here, right?
That makes sense, though. I mean, why wouldn't it make sense? For there to be a pattern behind speech.
I don't know if it correlates to anything. I think it just is the way things work. That's just the way things happen.
I mean, it seems to be the way of the world. I mean, the universe. I mean,
and it has correlation to the 80-20 rule or whatever you want to call it.
That's the one you showed me, Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah, and that has I think they model this to economic. You can model this zip law to economics and just about anything. Anything that has anything that you can think of will follow that pattern. You know, if it has production wise to it.
That's crazy. Tis interesting. That is for sure.
But it doesn't mean the Earth is flat. So don't get any ideas.
Oh, darn it.
Don't worry, that rarely happens.
Well, actually, the Earth is banana shaped.
Shaped like corn poop.
Like corn. Oh, I seen something interesting yesterday. Did you know that cauliflower, broccoli, and I'm stoned, so I can't remember. Oh, cabbage, and a few other vegetables all come from the exact same plant originally?
I believe they are all the same. Well, they don't use species in plants, but the plant equivalent of species. I believe they are all the same plant species. They're just different cultivars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They were all just bred for different purposes. So, like, some were bred to flower, some were bred to be more leafy, but their common ancestor, they all come from the exact same plant.
Which kind of explains why they all pretty much taste the same.
That's fair enough. Except for I have to disagree on cauliflower and broccoli. Broccoli is much more delicious than cauliflower.
I'll give you that. I
fucking hate cauliflower, dude. I just can't do that, man.
Well, I have to admit, there were days that I would get a head of cauliflower when it was actually affordable and lightly steam it and then pour a cheese sauce over it. And that was dinner.
Right.
Yummy. But yeah, broccoli, I can't get enough of it. Brussels sprouts. People think I'm weird. I love Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts was another vegetable that also is the exact same thing. It's the same cabbage, yeah.
And they look like miniature cabbages on that stalk.
I mean, it's amazing how corn came from actually a fucking form of grass. It was just like wheat, essentially. And they bred it until the fucking kernels became more and more condensed, and then the stalk, grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, voila, we have corn, the most useless vegetable on the face of the earth.
Oh.
No, I love corn. I love the taste of it, but you can't digest it. So what good is it?
Well, if you chew it up really well, you can actually digest the endosperm.
Yeah,
but yeah, that seed covering.
I mean, it
would survive a nuclear attack.
It obviously does have some nutritional value, or else fucking the Mexicans wouldn't have thrived or Central America wouldn't have thrived like it did back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they broke it down and then made flour with it, and then cooked. So I guess
that's how you digest it. You pound the shit out of it.
Yeah, with a fucking rock. Hit that shit with a rock.
Sort of like fufu, which is an actual foodstuff in several African countries. I forget what the root is.
Oh, the cassava root, is that it?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Is that the one where they pound on it in the fucking big old tubs with that fucking big wooden fucking post-looking motherfucking
Yeah,
thing?
about the size of a telephone pole, and you got like
Yeah, they're
5
just
ladies
pounding
around
shit.
it. Wham, wham, wham.
I would hate to be pounded by one of them chicks, dude. They fucking look like they got some strength on them. For real. Excuse me, by the way.
And the story goes that it's about as delicious as let's see, road tar.
Hey, man, they live in Africa. They have no, I mean, like, they're lucky if they got to catch a few flies and they found a fucking earthworm in their fucking, in their rice, you know? And they're fucking, they probably eat bowls of dirt and shit. And
Oh,
hope there's bugs in it.
They eat mealworms, insect larvae.
If that's the only meal you can get, I suppose I wouldn't complain. I don't think
Yeah,
I
get, it's an acquired taste.
Could I choke it down? Probably not in my current state, but if I was hungry enough, I'm sure I could fucking eat it.
I wonder.
You know what I mean? I'd have to be mighty fucking hungry, though. I'm
I
talking
wonder-
like starving hungry.
I wonder if people would eat it if they didn't know what it was.
I'm sure it doesn't taste horrible. I mean, like, I've heard the insects taste fairly well, but it's just the thought of eating, and it might be the texture too. I'm not gonna, just the thought of like biting into a big old beetle and fucking its guts popping out like fucking a pastry, dude. Which is, you know, just that idea fucking fucks with me. But like something small like a cricket or an ant, I could probably live with that, you know?
Aaron Ra made a dinner of crickets. He made a video of it.
I mean, I'm pretty brave. I've done some pretty brazen things when I was a drug addict, so eating a fucking bug wouldn't be that far off the mark. Probably be one of the more tamer things I've done.
Well, shit. I eat
more than I should. Is what I do.
When I see the word, I say awful, but I guess when other people see the word, they say awful, which I think describes what they think of it. But it's
It is awful, but yeah, it's the organ meat. Yeah,
it's the organ meats. I mean, I dearly love kidneys. I haven't made kidneys in. I haven't had kidneys in over 40 years because I like. Well, I don't exactly like my neighbors, but I don't want them to hate me.
Right.
Because when you make kidneys, you have to literally boil the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you can smell it down the block.
No, not the piss thing, yeah.
Because the urea is hydrolyzing into CO2 and ammonia.
Yummy.
Yeah. But I love beef heart. Oh, yummy and tasty. When I lived in the old neighborhood, I would hop on my bike downtown to one of the specialty meat shops, pick up a 5-pound beef heart, bring it home, simmer it with onion, rosemary, a little bit of thyme.
Is that usually heart and tongue though?
I love tongue. The problem with tongue is it's so expensive. Heart you can get for $2 a pound. Tongue is more like $7.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, we used to make that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like head cheese? My dad loves that shit, dude. I can't stomach it myself, but
I'm not that much for the head cheese because I'm not much for the gelatin.
Yeah, it's the texture that gets me. It isn't the taste as much as texture. It fucking makes me want to vomit every time I try to even eat it.
And then,
like I said, it don't taste bad. It's fucking the texture. If I could get past that, then. But I can't. So.
Similar to head cheese is what my babka would make is called struzanini, which is pickled pig's feet. And then you would boil the pig's feet, and then the cartilage would break down into the gelatin, and everything would solidify in the bowl, looking absolutely horrid. and you would pour vinegar over it and you would eat it.
No, that don't sound appetizing.
I
Personally,
mean, I wasn't much for it as a kid. I haven't had it in over 50 years.
I mean, I'm sure the nostalgia alone would be worth it, even if you detested it, it would still be a
Yeah, give it a
nostalgia
try.
thing. Yeah.
But kishka, oh God, it's kishka. It's a blood sausage.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I've got a lot of German in me, so I'm down with the sausage, my friend.
It's kind of like black pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It was hard to assimilate to eating American food after I spent a lot of time in Europe as a child, and my mom's from Germany, and the food
Okay.
was fucking amazing, man. So, like, coming back in here and eating a bratwurst after eating a real bratwurst
oh yeah.
it leaves something to be desired, and to find a good schnitzel around here anywhere, good luck. I have to go to Chicago to find one. And then you're still rolling the dice whether it's a good one or not.
Yeah.
So
Zip slaw, yes.
I'm sure I could find one in Philadelphia. Philadelphia still have Germantown.
I didn't even see Dallas. Wait, is there any? I've been watching the chat here.
I'm
Dallas is
guessing.
in there, and KC,
I'm guessing
how you doing?
Philadelphia-
Hans P. Hansen.
I'm guessing that they still do. Let's see.
I mean, is it actually still German?
That I would have a hard time telling you. Because I have not been to Philadelphia.
Philly.
I've never been to Philly.
No, I was supposed to be there when the college choir did a spring tour, but that's the year that I ended up in hospital for a month.
Oh, I've heard it. I've heard it's not exactly all it's cracked up to be. A buddy of mine lived there for a while, and he said it's a rough fucking place, man.
And you know what? You just reminded me that's one place I didn't go when I was in Chicago. Damn it. I didn't go to Boys Town.
Yeah, Boys Town is still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it used to be. There's some places I used to go when I was still doing heroin, like I'd go to the south side to the dirty hundreds they called them, and I'm talking you're in straight up gang territory all over the place there.
Okay.
It's pretty. I mean, like it's pretty. They know that a white boy is only there for one reason and one reason only. He's a junkie, probably. So they don't give you too much shit. You're a customer, so. But any other white guy'd pull up, they'd wonder what the fuck is going on. I'm talking places police are afraid to go to.
Oh, sort of like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the cops might roll through, but they don't stop. That's for sure.
Oh man. Trying to think of some of the places around here. Or the middle hill around here was somewhat like that. I don't know if it still is. Hill District. If you remember the television show Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
It was based on the Hill District.
Oh, okay.
Here in Pittsburgh.
That makes more sense now than Hill Street Blues.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a fictitious name.
I'm trying to remember. I think the producer may have spent some time out here, and Sylvia,
Yep.
I knew I shouldn't have left the foil out because you tried to eat it.
How'd it taste? I wonder if it's just as bad on a cat as it is a person if they chew foil.
Well, has your dog ever eaten tinsel and he takes a shiny shit? Thank you, George Carlin.
Well, Johnny and Diana, I hate to either bear bad news, but I got to bounce. You guys take it.
Oh my.
And thanks for having me, sir.
Yeah, I gotta clean up all my tools outside. I just thought of that too. So.
Oh, so you gotta take off. Yeah, because it's midnight here.
It's 11
so
here.
Oh, I thought you were further west for some reason.
Nope, I'm in the central zone.
Who the hell is in California then?
I
forget.
live out in California in the wintertime. I try to anyway.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
Thamakasi, he's on the coast there.
Yeah,
He's about 3 hours away from where I live out in LA.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's around LA. I'd love to get out to LA sometime. My friend Al is out there, and we correspond over Facebook and shit like that, but I haven't seen his face in person in 44 years. Not since we graduated high school.
Oh, I got a sliver. I wonder how that happened.
Say again?
I said I got a sliver. I wonder how that happened.
Oh, no idea. No, it's always fun talking to Al. It's like, hi, Al. How's things going? Oh, I'm in Budapest. It's like, do you spend enough? Are you in one time zone long enough to set your watch?
Yeah, you'd almost have to automatically change when you cross over time zones, huh?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, my flip phone did that. That shitty little flip phone that I have for $25 a month. When I went out to Chicago, it actually changed time zones automatically.
Okay.
So I guess it's good for something. I can't text on it. Can't receive texts. So if
they're overrated,
if Twitter ever screws up my account, I'm fucked.
I heard something about people getting inundated with sock accounts on Twitter lately, or something like that.
Okay, because I know Anthony Magnabosco posted something about that on Facebook. Are they doing it on Twitter too?
I heard something on Twitter. I'm not sure. I just caught it. I was walking in and out of the house, and it was on the news or something like that. And I don't even watch the news, but it was on CNN or something like that. And I just want a quick news report, but I'll have to look that up.
I haven't been on Facebook long enough to notice.
I try to avoid Facebook. I mean, I'm not hiding who I am, but on Facebook, I just don't. I just don't like talking to some of the people that I know really well, because if Facebook's been around, I've been on Facebook since 2001 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Longer than I joined in 2008.
Yeah, it's been somewhere around there. I've been on it for a long time, and it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't care for it. Too many friends and family on there too.
I went to Facebook because I had to. I used to be on LiveJournal, and we had a big LiveJournal community. And when the Russians bought LiveJournal, it went to hell. So a lot of them moved to Facebook. And if you wanted to talk to them, you had to go to Facebook. So I went, and it's not that bad, but it's not that good either. But nobody has come up with a replacement that flies.
Okay, we're gonna close out this here show here.
Alrighty. How many people do we have left?
I think we got three brain goals.
I don't know what you're doing here. You must be masochist or something.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Diana. This is fun.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks,
Love talking with you. And let's see now. Monday at 5 Pacific.
7 Central would be
7 Central would be 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock your time then.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We can do that. I'll write it on my calendar so I can forget it.
Alrighty then. Let's say goodbye, everybody.
Thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Goodbye.